Lots of people have always been a bit afraid of technology and the new or unfamiliar. We see this as the world embraces 5G and AI. Huawei also experiences this as a company which is global, but with its headquarters in China. I'd like to explain why there's really no reason to be afraid about 5G. Let's address 3 myths we encounter on a regular basis. Myth number 1. Huawei's 5G technology is Chinese, therefore somehow not secure? Myth number 2. With 5G, the boundaries between core and non-core network elements will disappear. Myth number 3. If there's no more separation between the core and non-core, then Huawei has access to all of the data in the network? Look, none of these things are correct. To the first point, Huawei's 5G technology has been developed by researchers around the world, in Europe, Canada, and Asia, and yes, in China. This is because we're a global company with operations in 170 countries. We spent 10 years on R&D, finding ways above all to make 5G more secure than ever before. Let's move to the second point. Core and non-core elements will remain separate in a network architecture for 5G. This is part of what will allow the latest generation to be 100 times faster than 4G. Base stations are used outside the core, in something called the Radio Access Network, or the RAN for short. Our base stations will use the radio signals from smartphones, tablets and other devices, sending them to the core. You see, traditional security practice keeps the RAN separate from the core. The core encrypts data, authenticates users and directs traffic. The RAN just sends data, but it can't read any subscriber information. It's true that to generate higher speed and less delay, 5G will push computing resources closer to the network edge. But core resources remain separate from the RAN, and they'll be subject to the core's robust security protocols. That's how things are in 4G, and that's how they'll stay in 5G. Finally, to say Huawei has access to all this data is completely wrong. We make equipment that allows the network to run. We cannot see the data. You know, even if we could see it, we couldn't read it, because it's encrypted. 5G is essentially the Fort Knox of telecommunications. All data is encrypted everywhere in the network. This protects your identity and your location from the moment your mobile connects. That's something 4G does not do. Plus, the encryption is much stronger than 4G. A quantum computer would need millions of years to crack it. Look, it's okay to be concerned by new technologies, but let's not get carried away. Every succeeding generation of technology is more secure than the last. There's no need to let our fear cloud our response to something that ought to be building a better world. 5G will be super fast and will change the way we interact with technology. It's global, it's trustworthy, and it's going to be more secure than ever before.